James Coll up. He's going to say a few words for us. Tony, I'm losing my eyesight. Maybe it's because I have these glasses on. Ah, there it is. Professor James Coll from Nassau Community College. He's a professor of American history and a Long Island Tea Party member. So let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Laura for the speak to the Long Island Tea Party. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes. Okay, I teach American history at Nassau Community College. I also teach constitutional history. So I'm going to talk about something that I think you may enjoy. Let's talk a little bit about the Constitution. A few semesters ago, after I presented the syllabus on the first day of a course I was teaching, a student raised her hand and posed a question having nothing to do with the class requirements. "How old are you?" she asked. I replied that a gentleman never reveals his age, but that year I was actually eligible for the presidency. At that, a student in the back of the room shouted, "My God, you're 45 years old." I assured the class that we had our work cut out for us. So again, let's talk about the Constitution. What do you guys think about that? These are 5 words most politicians in Washington fear greatly. They are also 5 words that just a few years ago could clear a room. Yet today, those of us with a real invested interest in how government could and should work look around this rally and see that we are not alone anymore in wanting to talk about the Constitution. As I give lectures and seminars to community groups and in libraries across Long Island and around New York State, I realize that our fellow citizens are more engaged than ever about what the Constitution says, and as they read their newspapers, they have real questions about what the supreme law of our land really means. The founders envisioned a government where words on paper had actual meaning. Today, this concept is a radical idea. The Constitution I have read and studied permits the government to take action to protect the public. While the document does not apply Miranda warnings to the interrogation of our enemies, as some would believe, it does permit the power to create military tribunals as a relevant and lawful venue for trying them. What do you guys think about that? Now, it did not take me 2 years to figure this out. I just read Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. The Constitution also has a procedure for passing a balanced budget amendment. What do you guys think about that? It is Article 5 of the Constitution, but if you believe this, you are considered by some to be an extremist. Article 2 of the Constitution limits the president's term to 4 years. What do you think about that? Okay, the clock is ticking. Article 1 empowers the Congress to construct a budget. Please remind our politicians because they seem to have forgotten this. But there are some things that I cannot find in the Constitution. There is no mention of bailouts for private businesses or stimulus packages to supplement out-of-control budgets. There is not even a passing reference to Congress passing bills without reading them or knowing the content of the proposed legislation. There is no clause or phrase that explicitly empowers the President to unilaterally commit our military to an endeavor that even the Secretary of Defense admits is not in America's, quote, vital interest. I have read the Constitution over and over again and still cannot find even a glancing mention about providing benefits to illegal immigrants. Did any of you find that phrase in the Constitution? No, exactly. And of course, nowhere in the Constitution does it allow the government, no matter how good it may be for us, to demand we eat broccoli, we run on a treadmill, or we purchase health care. You agree with that? Yeah. It is within our rights to question a government that works more for itself than for we the people. The American Revolution was started in part over a tax on tea. Today's government wants to tax the tea, the cup, the water, the milk, the sugar, the honey, and the sweat that we exert to mix them all. Yet if we ask questions, we are labeled as unpatriotic for not smiling broadly throughout the process. Remember Joe Biden said that? Yesterday he was sleeping, or 2 days ago he was sleeping. Too many of our politicians talk about the Constitution, but too few have read it. We should ask our politicians, when was the last time they looked at the document they swore to uphold? It would be interesting for us to hear the answer. Although not formally affiliated with any one political party, the Tea Party agenda today is dominating Washington. You should be proud of yourselves. Round of applause for yourselves. It is not a matter of if the budget will be cut today, but by how much it will be cut. It is not a matter of whether the deficit will be reduced, but by how much and over how long. In December of last year, the Tea Party was ranked #2 as the most influential by Time magazine. Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, of course, was #1. Over the remainder of this year and into next, we should redouble our efforts to make sure that we are #1 in the next year and in the following year. And of course, let us make sure that we continue to talk about the Constitution. Thank you, and enjoy your day.